So you're still skeptical about Bitcoin because you don't fully understand it. Well, I'm going to explain Bitcoin to you in 30 seconds, and I swear it'll make sense. Follow me. Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer cash network secured by proof of work where miners convert energy into blocks. Difficulty self-adjusts every 2016 blocks. Issuance halves roughly every 4 years until 21 million. Nodes verify, not trust. And final settlement happens without permission. Did you get all that? No? Well, maybe the problem isn't you. Maybe it's that you only had 30 seconds.
And now, a Bitcoin pitch in a little bit more than 30 seconds.
It's not like the days got shorter, but your time did. Somewhere along the lines, learning got squeezed between notifications and job searches. Where did all this pressure come from? Well, if you've been living under a rock, that pressure is tied to money.
I like to compare the guarantee and promise of Bitcoin as a fixed money to the guarantee and promise of death and that we can't live forever. What I mean by that is that the fact that I'm going to die and I know I'm going to die is what allows me to value my life. Mm-hmm. If I knew I could live forever, I'd go to the gym in 10,000 years. I'd think about reproducing in 100,000 years. Yeah. Why would I? The point is, how would I ever be able to value today? Mm-hmm. If there's infinite amounts of dollars, infinite amounts of debt, infinite amounts of printing currency, it doesn't allow me to value the paycheck I'm getting now. And so the promise that I will die is what allows me to value my life. Time as an asset is infinite, but my time isn't. And it's the promise of Bitcoin, the fact that I have a money that is fixed that actually allows me to value my time and energy right now. And so when you hear Bitcoiners say, I got into Bitcoin, I got healthier. I got into Bitcoin, I lowered my time preference. I got into Bitcoin and I thought about the world differently. It is going from a life of infinity, which is impossible to value, to a life that is finite, that requires you to value it. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
To me, it's just a life-altering technology and an advancement in money, which is how we capture, exchange, and save time and energy between each other.
Money is a claim check on human time. Flood the world with more claim checks, and each claim is worth less. Those claim checks are tied to every single thing you see around you, from the houses on your street, to the food that you eat, to the shoes on your feet. And those claim checks, they're ultimately tied to your time. Think about that for a second. Are you in there? There are a group of people out there that are conspiring behind closed doors that make decisions that are directly tied to your time. Time is a resource, just like gold, lumber, water, or oil.
Go planet!
When more claims exist on the resources than the resources themselves, that's when prices rise. That's what inflation is. But something is off. Wages crawl, but prices sprint. Minimum pay goes up for sure, but groceries, rent, gas, they all run laps around it. We earn a little more, yet we spend a lot more. For someone to buy a piece of our time, we have to charge more. And still somehow, we fall behind.
If you can quit freaking out about the loss of your purchasing power, and most people don't think that much about it, right? Most people who haven't thought about Bitcoin and don't understand money, they don't understand this. It's not until you realize what money is and what fiat currency is and what its incentive structure is like, that you finally can take a step back or away from it and look at your life and look at the effects of fiat on your life. And I get this, I think, not from being a doctor necessarily as much as being a financial guy. People are desperate to grow their purchasing power over time so that they can afford life and maybe retire someday and maybe support their family someday. And fiat keeps you on the hamster wheel forever and ever and ever. And some people score and they get lucky and they create a tech company and make $1 billion and they don't have to worry about money. But for 99% of people, they're on this hamster wheel and they're stressed out all the time. And I know a lot of people who tell me, I don't care about money. I don't want to think about money. It's just not my thing. And I'm like, but you do think about money all the time. You have to think about, you got to get up and go to work, and you can barely pay the grocery bills because prices have gone up so much. And why is life so hard? And oh my gosh, I got to pay taxes now, and I got to put kids through college, and all these kind of things are stressful. And being stressed out all the time, I will tell you now, putting back my doctor hat back on, is really bad for your health. If you're constantly stressed out, you will just have health problems. It's called psychosomatic problems, right? So If you're stressed out, you'll start having aches and pains. You're going to be at a higher risk for things like cancer, for heart disease, heart attacks, you name it. And so stress is bad for your health, and fiat is stressful, and being on the hamster wheel forever is stressful, and not having enough money to pay the bills and maxing out your credit cards and paying 21% interest rates is super stressful.
Now here's the part where Bitcoin fits into this impending time of crisis. But before we get to that, we're going to need some gear. In a time of crisis, when the grid goes down or you lose your ability to communicate with your loved ones, you're going to need a solid solution. Sat123.com has all the latest in satellite phones, Faraday bags, and solar power generators, plus a ton of other gear that will save you in a real pinch. And if you go to sat123.com, you put the promo code SIMPLY, you'll get 15% off your purchase. Don't wait until it's too late. Go to sat123.com and protect yourself from this looming money printing apocalypse that's ahead of us. Now that was dark, but there's still some light at the end of the tunnel, my friends. And that light is Bitcoin. It's not gold, it's not oil, or anything that you can dig or drill. It doesn't have a place. It's not physical. It's virtual value. Virtual value is a loaded term, I understand, because it makes it sound like Bitcoin's value is derived from some sort of outside gaming world, like a virtual world. But I want you to think about this phrasing, virtual value. Not virtual value in the sense of a video game or frequent flyer miles, but more like global, universal virtual value.
Value that anyone can access.
Anyone with or without a bank account. From Portland to Portugal, or a service member to sovereign nation, Bitcoin is for everybody. Bitcoin is universal. Anyone can hold Bitcoin and no one controls it. That's not just another type of virtual value. That is virtual value. And what does this virtual value store better than gold itself? Your time.
Economic energy is capital. Economic energy is wealth. And so if you think about the wealth in the world, there's maybe $900 trillion of it right now, and it's tied up in real estate, in stocks, in bonds, in currencies, collectibles, et cetera. The challenge is that that capital is analog capital from the 20th century, and Bitcoin represents the digital transformation of capital. And your chart you just showed with those ETFs shows that every day in the last 5 days, $481 million is flowing out of the analog world into the digital world. And what's going to drive Bitcoin is, in essence, the conversion of analog capital to digital capital. The killer use case is capital preservation and capital appreciation. And, the name of the show is making money. That's what everybody wants to do, and money is capital.
Printing more claim checks doesn't create abundance. It creates a vacuum of your time.
I really mean this. The dollar functions as a value sucker. That's why just 30 seconds feels like your new attention span. Not because you got dumber, but because you simply couldn't spend the time to learn. The point I'm trying to make here is that Bitcoin can be explained in 30 seconds. It can also be explained in 10 seconds, but it takes years of experience to really understand the point of it. If you're tired of looking for your next gig or trying to save up for something only to see it get more expensive, you need to get some Bitcoin. If you're tired of watching your gas tank prices constantly climb, don't get a Tesla. Get some Bitcoin. And if you only have 30 seconds to listen to a pitch on Bitcoin, don't listen to the pitch. Get some Bitcoin. And you know what's an insanely clean and efficient way of getting Bitcoin right now? Sazmining.com.
Sazmining offers Bitcoin mining where you own the rig and you collect the sats. They handle all the technicals using clean and renewable energy sources.
And if you go to Sazmining.com right now and you put the promo code SIMPLYBITCOIN, you'll get $100 off your first purchase. Book a call with one of their expert team members and start mining today at Sazmining.com. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure you hit that like button below. Or you can subscribe to the Simply Bitcoin channel for more content like this. We're coming out with it every single day of the week. I'm Oceans. This is Beyond Bitcoin. Maybe next time you'll have more time. But until that time, see you next time.